Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Outkick MMA, episode 346. I am Brendan. UFC Fight Night. Jailton Almeida versus Derrick Lewis. We'll get into it. We'll get into my thoughts on it. We're going to break down all the fights. If you're looking for a specific fight breakdown, timestamps are down below. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way you know when the next video is coming out. I'd super appreciate it. Normally, I wait till like mid-video or whatever. We're going to break down all of the fights on the main card first here. Prelims in the next video. So normally what I do is I start talking about the fights and then I think about it and I'm like, maybe this card's worth watching. Nope. No, you can skip it. You can skip it. So there are two fights on this main card that are worth your time, right? If you're a hardcore fan, you're going to watch anyway, go for it. Listen to the breakdown, do what you want to do. But there are a couple fights in here that were relatively exciting, so we will talk about those. There was more excitement, I guess you would call it, in the prelims than there was in the main card, especially this main event. So let's talk about this main event, shall we? So Jailton Almeida taking on Derrick Lewis. Holy crap, this was bad. Really, really, really bad. All right, so you got. Let's see here. Where's he at? Jailton Almeida is number 9. Derrick Lewis is number 10, right? So after this, Jailton Almeida gets the win here. We'll go through the scorecards and all that other stuff, but let's just look at how this fight played out. 21 minutes of total control time for Jailton Almeida, and you'll hear my grievances as we move on. I am not a jiu-jitsu or wrestling detractor. I'm actually a big fan of both of those forms of martial art. I enjoy them for what they are, and I think when used effectively, they can be very interesting. Yes, there's times when you're grappling when you're not going to have the most interesting interactions, okay? That's going to happen. Sometimes there's just no way around it unless you put yourself purposely in a bad position to go for something interesting, right? Like throwing up a submission instead of saving yourself for the position or trying to get a sweep, right? Position, like going for submission instead of position, inherently is dangerous. It's more exciting, but less high percentage for the party who's going for it. So unless you're purposely doing that or that's your style, you're going to end up with fights that are less than interesting. I'm fronting all this. I'm putting all this information out there because this was not what happened here. This is not what happened here. I don't want to hear it. I don't. I really don't. I'm sorry. If you're a huge Jailton Almeida fan, great. He has a ton of skill. This was a stinker. This was a real stinker from both guys. Derrick Lewis now has two of the most boring heavyweight fights in UFC history, if not the two most boring UFC heavyweight fights in UFC history. And people have talked about in the past how Derrick Lewis quits. Quits is a strong word. I would just say he just doesn't put effort forth. Like he's not going to waste his energy, and that's what we had here. So Almeida immediately looking for that. The teep kicks up the middle and then pushing him to the fence to get the takedown. He gets the mount, goes for an arm triangle, and then they're just sitting there, right? He has how much control time in the first round? 4 minutes and 36 seconds of control time. He attempted a total of 12 ground strikes, landed 8 of them. Derrick Lewis actually landed 6 ground strikes. Okay? Total significant strikes landed in this first round, 11-6 in favor of Almeida. Derrick Lewis actually got up, and then he started going in the last 5 seconds. He landed probably, 5 of those 6 shots. And, I don't think he did more damage than Almeida, but nobody did anything in this round. He just sat in mount. He got warned multiple times during this fight by Mark Goddard for being in mount and holding position instead of advancing or looking for a submission, right? He was not looking for a path to finish the fight, which is usually if you get to that position, there's no way a ref's going to pull you off. If you get to the back, there's no way a ref is going to pull you off. In this case, I would say that he was stalling. I don't know if he just was playing it 100% safe and not going for anything, or if Derrick Lewis is just that good. But Derrick Lewis just laid there, and Almeida just let him lay there. And we had to watch that for 25 fucking minutes, man. So my notes get a little angry near the end because this was a tough one to watch. Lewis lands a right hand in the second round here. So 10-9 first round Almeida, right? So it's not a 10-8 round. Lewis lands a right hand, but Almeida dives in on a takedown. Lewis doesn't use energy, and Almeida doesn't want to risk anything. Almeida is bitching about Lewis holding his wrist, and he complained to the ref about that multiple times. And Goddard, the fact that he was able to have a conversation with Mark Goddard, and Goddard told him, like, quit looking at me, fight. What are you doing? He warned him multiple times, 20-18. Third round here, Almeida fails on the first two attempts, and then Lewis throws him to the ground, and now Almeida gets the mount again. Almeida looking to the ref about wrist grabs yet again. Lewis gets on top and lands some nasty ground and pound in this round. Almeida holds onto the leg and gets a mount again. Lewis just lays there for the next round, for the rest of the round, and Almeida's warned about activity again, finally throwing some shots near the end of the round, which is what saved it for him, because you could honestly give that to Derrick Lewis, even though he had no control time. Almost 4 minutes of control time here in the third round, 30-27. Fourth round, Almeida goes for a takedown again, taking some shots in the process, but he's back to mount. This is bad. This is bad to watch. 40-36. I can't believe I watched this. Wrote that down. Lewis is up on his feet. How is he staying on his feet? It was amazing in the last round. He was really fighting it off. And then Almeida just kept going. He had great wrestling. His initial takedowns, you're not going to hear me complain about it. Takedowns were great. Positioning was great. It was the lack of activity on top. He would not go for a finish. He would not advance. He went for a couple arm triangles, but even then, he wouldn't give up his mount. He would not give up his position for that, which is fine. Go for it again then. Go for something else. Go for it again. You can't just attempt one submission over a period of, 4 minutes? Look at this. He attempted 2 submissions in the first round, 2 submissions in the second round, and sat on top for an additional 12 minutes. 12 more minutes he sat on top, more than that, and didn't attempt a single submission for the rest of the fight. I had 50-45. Lewis gets up. Almeida goes for a takedown one more time in the last round. We don't need to talk about, Almeida landed 0 strikes in the last round. 0. Lewis landed 6. And he was on his back for 3 minutes and 55 seconds of it. Looking at the scorecards here, Saul D'Amato gave that fourth round a 10-8. I think that's fine. 10-8 for that round. He's on his back the whole time. Maybe. Sure. You can arbitrarily give him a 10-8 round in there, I guess. Oh, Fabio Alves gave the second round a 10-8, and Dave Torelli gave none of the rounds a 10-8. Real quick, guys, let's look at Almeida's still undefeated, so that's impressive. He's a great grappler. That's impressive. His takedowns and his control were impressive. But do you want him to be thrown up higher? I would have him fight like Sergey Spivak or something. I would not have him thrown in there with Volkov or Curtis Blades. I know he was supposed to fight Blades, but after that performance, I know it takes 2 to tango and whatever. We don't have to talk about this anymore. I don't want to belabor the point. The fight sucks. Don't watch it. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your time. You want a fight that's worth your time, go to the co-main event. Definitely worth your time. Gabriel Bonfim versus Nicolas Dalby. What a banger this was. Gabriel Bonfim is he's a phenom. This kid is insane. His aggressiveness, his power, his willingness to just throw down and then also go for submissions. It's not like Charles Oliveira, right? He's much smarter with his striking. He doesn't just stick his chin out there, right? But he's got this finish mentality. He just wants to go get the finish. And he didn't get it in the first round. We saw him kind of, get checked a little bit here. Nicolas Dalby, tough as nails, cardio for days, and that's what he did here. Okay, they come out hard, they start swinging. Bonfim landed a hard low kick, throwing some nasty hooks. Dalby landing a low kick of his own. Both guys are looking fast, right? Dalby in on the body lock, pressuring to the cage. Dalby pressuring hard. Bonfim landing, finding the mark with some jabs. Bonfim throwing a ton of volume, even as he backs up. Dalby landing low kicks and a nice body shot. Bonfim gets the body lock takedown. He gets on top, doing a great job controlling. He did a great job controlling on the ground, and he was at head on damage beforehand. Look at that, outstriking him 30-16 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds of control time. Excellent round for Bonfim. It was just whether or not you can keep that pace up, and Dalby just would not let him rest. He would not let him rest. They start hot again. Dalby in his face. Bonfim going across the whole cage to get a takedown. Dalby takes a minute to get back up off the mat, fighting off a couple subs in the process. Dalby back in his face, and they exchange elbows. Bonfim starts looking tired, and Dalby landing a hard elbow in the clinch. Bonfim now just standing put, right? Staying planted and just throwing, right? Trying to catch him with a big shot to get a break, get some respect back, but Dalby just will not stop pressuring forward. Dalby using the knees and the hard right hands, landing short elbows. Dalby drops him with a freaking knee and gets the finish. That's a cardio battle for you right there, right? And there's some boos from the crowd. They're in Brazil. You're going to get some boos, whatever. This was a cardio battle, right? This was weaponizing your cardio, similar to how Frankie Edgar used to do it, right? You just keep the pressure on. You know you're going to have to eat some to keep that pressure on. And, Dalby did eat some big shots, but it wasn't a ton of them. That's the thing, is like if you apply fundamental striking technique with fundamental defense, you can avoid a lot of the damage that's coming back at you. For the most part, you're going to get caught here and there. But if you keep that pressure on, right, I know the Diaz brothers do it, and a lot of other fighters, they keep that pressure on you. Colby Covington, they all have different versions of it with wrestling or, 60% boxing, just pop, 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 right? And Dalby here just with in your face, pressuring you with a little bit of grappling here, a little bit of striking, a lot of clinch work. There's certain ways you can weaponize your cardio through different styles and techniques, and this is one of them, right? This was a cardio battle, and Dalby won. That's what happened here. Bonfim just went for the finish, couldn't get it, and ends up paying the price in the end. Fantastic fight. Go do yourself a favor and go watch this one. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Okay, ready for the excitement to go away. Rodrigo Nascimento versus Dontel Mays. Heavyweight fight that went the distance. How do you think it went? Nascimento landing a hard right hand, then another as Mays backs up. Mays is just backing up, not putting anything out there. Mays looks to be suffering from an eye poke, but they don't call anything. Nascimento puts the pressure on and lands a few. Mays finds a target in the middle of the melee. Nascimento lands an uppercut that shakes Mays for a second. Nascimento getting the takedown instead of keeping the punches coming. I thought he could get the finish. Mays lands a couple good shots. Nascimento landing way more power shots in this round, 33-28. Just kind of like punching back and forth. It was a little interesting. 10-9 for Nascimento. Nascimento back to the same position they were in the first round. Mays just waves him in. Nascimento in on another takedown attempt. No dice there. Nascimento just clinching up now. Not much action. Both guys are tired. Sloppy heavyweights. This is how it goes, Mays actually outstruck him here 23-20. I don't know about all that. Oh, those body shots. You know what? I still gave this to Nascimento. I don't feel like Mays landed big enough shots, but maybe it was not a 30-27 on all three judges' scorecards. We will talk about it. Mays is now landing the jab, trying to land overhand right. Overhand either left or right, depending on his stance. Nascimento was starting to look tentative. What a bunch of stinkers. This fight just added to the night. We didn't know what was coming at the main event. Definitely a stinker. Maybe a couple shots landed in this round, but I gave this one to Mays, 28-17 for the striking numbers. I thought he definitely did more damage. Let's look at the scorecards real quick. We don't need to spend a lot of time on this one. Halison Pontes gave all 3 rounds to Nascimento, and then Fabio Alves and Dave Torelli gave the first 2 rounds. Halison Pontes also gave Bonfim a 10-8 in that fight, so we'll look at some of his other scorecards. I don't know if a lot of non-Brazilians are getting a scorecard from that guy. Alrighty. Borralho versus Abus Magomedov. God, another one. This wasn't even like a grappling match or a cardio thing. This was just refusing to engage and poking your way to a victory. We'll talk about it when we get to the striking numbers here. Borralho landing the jab and starting in. So he would dart in, and then pop back out, and then back up, circle. Start, dart in, back up, circle. And that was the entire fight. Magomedov was pressuring with Borralho circling around the outside, looking to counter. Hard eye poke from Abus. Not good. No punishment, as usual. Borralho landing more with the low kicks and the jabs early. This was just not a good round for either guy, but Borralho outlanded him 11-7. Magomedov wasn't able to find the distance really well, right? He landed a right hand here in the second round, follows up with a left against the fence. Borralho landing a leaping jab yet again. Borralho landing a counter lead hook. Magomedov coming back with the 1-2. Borralho complaining about an eye poke yet again. Borralho pokes and runs his way to another round. If you look at the striking numbers here, it was a lot closer here, 21-20. I felt like he did outland him. He did a better job with the damage, and he did get this round 20-18. But I don't know, like that strategy of poke, run, run. It's not the most exciting thing to watch. It's smart. It ain't fun to watch. Borralho landing the jab, Magomedov landing right hand to the body in return. Borralho pressuring forward just to walk it all the way back to the other side of the cage. The volume from Borralho is starting to win this round, even if they miss. He's just throwing a lot out there. Borralho landing an elbow that makes Magomedov back up. Borralho gets on top and takes it back, but still can't get the finish. He was on his back for 2 minutes of this round, couldn't get the finish. He wouldn't even take chances when he was in that position. So 19-11, 30. I had it 30-27. All three judges had it. Oh, Saul D'Amato and Dave Torelli gave the first round to Magomedov. All right, that's fair. That's fair. I did see it for Borralho, but I could see that. Again, not a fight you need to go back and watch. It's not worth your time. This fight is, however, really good fight here. Elves Brener versus Kaynan Kruschewsky. Fun fight to watch. Didn't last long either, so you guys will get to experience a whole fight and not waste 25 minutes of your life. Brener using the kicks to keep distance, lands a nice lead hook as Kruschewsky enters. Kruschewsky lands with a loopy left hook as Brener throws a kick. Countered that body kick really well with the big looping left hook. Brener wings big with the right hand, then comes over the top with the left. Landing really hard, and Brener throws the same combo yet again, hits him behind the ear with that big left hand, and Kruschewsky falls face first, and it was over. Holy shit, that was probably knockout of the night. It was nuts. He caught him with the left hand. It glanced right behind the ear and just put him out face first on the mat. That is it for the main card. We'll be covering the prelims in the next video. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. Like I said, though, if you just stop by here to kind of get a feel for that card and see, if he's really excited or whatever, maybe I'll go back and watch him. No need. I promise you. You do not need to watch this main card. It is a waste of time. If anything, go back and watch those two fights that I mentioned. Right? Go back and watch those ones. Those are pretty good. The rest of it is a waste of your time. You want to put it on in the background? Still a waste of your time. Go get a book on tape and put that on in the background. This fight sucked. All right, this card sucked. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Love y'all.